Bishop Banda and Membi exposed. Sikaile demands answers on stolen property Zambia politics 2025. Part 1. Dramatic hook. Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash. We're midway through another intense week in Zambian politics, and as always, the drama never seems to take a break. I hope you've all been keeping well and staying informed, because today, we're diving into a story that has sent shockwaves through the political establishment. Our lead story today: a bitter confrontation over stolen property, powerful allegations, and a brewing scandal that threatens to expose deep-rooted corruption at the highest levels of Zambian politics. Picture this: a man stands before the nation, his voice trembling with righteous anger, holding documents that he claims prove a devastating truth. He speaks of betrayal, not by strangers, but by those who once called themselves comrades, brothers in the struggle for justice. He speaks of property seized under suspicious circumstances, of influential figures who've remained silent while ordinary Zambians suffer, and of a political elite that seems untouchable. But who is this man? And what explosive evidence does he possess? His name is Sikaile, a figure who has emerged from the shadows to demand accountability. And his targets? None other than Bishop John Mambo Banda, a prominent religious and political figure, and Fred Membi, the veteran journalist and opposition leader whose Socialist Party has positioned itself as the voice of the voiceless. What happens when the self-proclaimed defenders of the poor stand accused of enriching themselves through dubious means? What does it mean when religious authority and political activism become entangled with allegations of theft and deception? How deep does this scandal go? And most critically, will those named answer the call for transparency, or will they retreat into the comfortable silence of the powerful? The questions are explosive, the implications are profound, and the answers, they may reshape Zambia's political landscape in ways we cannot yet imagine. Factual foundation. The revelation came to light in early 2025, when Sikaile, whose full background remains partially obscured but whose determination is undeniable, stepped forward with a public declaration that caught the attention of political observers across Zambia. According to Sikaile's account, the controversy centers on property, valuable assets that he claims were improperly taken or transferred under circumstances that demand investigation. The details point to a complex web involving Bishop John Mambo Banda, a charismatic figure who has wielded considerable influence in both religious and political circles, and Fred Membi, the founder of the Socialist Party and a longtime fixture in Zambian public life. The initial suspicion arose when Sikaile began piecing together transaction records, witness testimonies, and documentation that suggested irregularities in property ownership transfers. He alleges that the property in question, whose exact location and value have become subjects of intense speculation, was acquired through means that circumvented proper legal channels. The chronological sequence begins several years ago, when the property was reportedly under different ownership. Through a series of transactions that Sikaile describes as suspiciously convenient, the assets allegedly came under the control or influence of individuals connected to Bishop Banda and Membi's political operations. Sikaile's investigation intensified over recent months as he gathered testimonies from individuals who claimed knowledge of the transactions. By January 2025, he felt equipped with enough evidence to make his case public, issuing demands through social media platforms and community gatherings that Bishop Banda and Membi provide full disclosure. The specific accusation is stark: that these two prominent figures either directly benefited from stolen property or failed to exercise due diligence in ensuring the legitimacy of assets they acquired or controlled. Sikaile has called for a formal accounting, demanding that both men produce documentation proving the legal provenance of the disputed assets. As of now, the response from the accused has been conspicuously muted, fueling speculation that there may indeed be uncomfortable truths waiting to be uncovered. Direct evidence. In a series of public statements and recorded messages that have circulated widely on Zambian social media, Sikaile has laid out his case with a combination of raw emotion and documentary evidence. In one particularly striking video address, Sikaile declared, "I am not here to play games. I am not here to make empty accusations. I have documentation. I have witnesses. And I have the courage that these so-called leaders seem to lack." Bishop Banda, you present yourself as a man of God, but what kind of God do you serve when you enrich yourself on the backs of those who have lost everything? Fred Membi, you speak of socialism, of standing with the poor, But where is your solidarity when property is stolen and the rightful owners are left with nothing? He continued, his voice rising with intensity. I am giving you both a simple opportunity. Produce the documents. Show us the legal trail. Prove that what you hold was acquired honestly. If you can do this, then I will withdraw my claims publicly and apologize. But if you cannot, if you continue to hide behind your titles and your influence, then the people of Zambia will know exactly who you are. And history will judge you accordingly. When pressed by supporters about the specific nature of the evidence, Sikaile responded, Look, I have land registry documents, okay? I have transfer records that show dates that don't make sense, signatures that appear questionable. I've spoken to people who were there, who witnessed these transactions, who were told to keep quiet. One person told me, and I quote, "We were promised that this would benefit the community, but instead it benefited only a few connected individuals." That's the truth we're dealing with. Sikaile also shared excerpts from what he claims are communications between intermediaries involved in the property transfers. One message I obtained says, something like, "The bishop is aware. Proceed as discussed. Membs people will handle the paperwork on their end." Now, what does that tell you? It tells you there was coordination. It tells you this wasn't some accidental misunderstanding. This was planned. In response to potential criticism that he might have ulterior motives, Sikaile addressed his critics directly. Some will say I'm doing this for attention, for political gain. Let me be clear. I don't want political office. I don't want fame. I want justice. If that makes me controversial, then so be it. But I will not be silent while those who claim moral authority abuse the trust of ordinary Zambians. As of now, neither Bishop Banda nor Fred Membi has issued a comprehensive public response to these specific allegations, though sources close to both figures have suggested that legal action may be forthcoming. Deeper analysis. The implications of Sikaile's accusations extend far beyond a simple property dispute. They strike at the heart of credibility, accountability, and the moral authority that public figures claim in Zambian society. Bishop John Mambo Banda has long positioned himself as a spiritual leader with political consciousness, someone who speaks truth to power while claiming to serve the interests of marginalized communities. If Sikaile's allegations prove accurate, the reputational damage could be catastrophic, raising fundamental questions about the intersection of religious leadership and financial propriety. Fred Membi's situation is equally precarious. As the leader of the Socialist Party, he has built his political brand on anti-corruption rhetoric and advocacy for economic justice. The irony of a socialist leader being accused of property theft is not lost on political observers, and it could severely undermine his party's credibility heading into future electoral contests. Reactions from across the political spectrum have been varied. Members of the ruling United Party for National Development, UPND, have largely remained silent, perhaps calculating that allowing opposition figures to be damaged by scandals serves their interests. However, some government supporters have begun sharing Sikaile's allegations on social media, amplifying the pressure on Bishop Banda and Membi to respond. Opposition parties beyond the Socialist Party have approached the matter cautiously. Some see an opportunity to distance themselves from controversial figures, while others worry that broad accusations of corruption could tar all opposition movements with the same brush. Civil society organizations focused on transparency and good governance have called for a thorough investigation. Transparency International Zambia issued a statement noting that allegations of this nature, regardless of who they involve, must be addressed through proper legal channels with full disclosure of relevant documentation. Legal analysts have pointed out several complex questions raised by this case. What standard of proof is required to substantiate claims of property theft when transactions may have been conducted through intermediaries? If the property was indeed improperly acquired, what remedies are available to the rightful owners? Can public figures be held to higher standards of financial transparency than ordinary citizens? What role should religious institutions play in ensuring their leaders maintain ethical financial practices? There are also significant ambiguities that remain unresolved. Sikaile has not yet released all of his documentary evidence publicly, claiming he is reserving some materials for potential legal proceedings. This has led skeptics to question whether his evidence is as conclusive as he claims. Furthermore, The exact nature of Bishop Banda and Membi's alleged involvement remains somewhat unclear. Were they direct beneficiaries? Were they aware of improprieties but turned a blind eye? Or were they themselves deceived by others who acted in their names? Beyond the immediate players, this scandal connects to larger systemic concerns about how property rights are protected in Zambia, how political and religious elites navigate conflicts of interest, and whether there is genuine accountability for those who occupy positions of influence. The silence from the accused parties is itself telling. In an era of instant communication and social media engagement, the decision not to immediately rebut serious allegations often suggests either legal caution or an inability to produce exonerating evidence. As this story develops, it will serve as a test case for whether Zambia's institutions, its courts, its media, its civil society, can hold powerful figures accountable, or whether influence and connections will once again shield the elite from consequences. Thank you so much for watching today's edition of InspirAfrica Official. This is a story that's still unfolding, and I know many of you will have strong opinions about what we've discussed. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Do you think Sikaile's allegations have merit? Should Bishop Banda and Fred Membi be compelled to respond publicly? And more broadly, how do we ensure accountability among those who claim to lead us toward a better Zambia? Your thoughts, your perspectives, your experiences, they matter. This channel exists because of your engagement, and together, we can continue shining a light on the stories that shape our nation. We'll be following this story closely in the coming days and weeks, and you can be sure that as new developments emerge, we'll bring them to you right here. Until tomorrow, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, the truth may be complicated, but the pursuit of it is always worthwhile. This is Nakash, signing off from InspirAfrica Official. Take care, and see you in the next one.